Hello, it's Colette. Welcome to my channel. This is the weekly tarot card for the week commencing Monday, the 30th of April 2018. To any new subscribers, you're welcome. And please, if you're just visiting, think about subscribing and hitting the wee notification bell. And that way you'll get your weekly tarot cards every week. So this is your card for the week ahead. It's my Roderick deck as usual, and it's the Chariot card. And the traditional chariot has, the charioteer with two horses or almost two sphinx-like creatures drawing forward, and he's driving the chariot. But in the Roderick deck, it's very modern. It has a Formula One car in it, which is absolutely amazing. And the sort of helmet, protective helmet with the universe sort of inside the visor. And it's just the best looking card, I think. I love this interpretation of the chariot. Yes, it's so modern, but it brings us back to the essence of the chariot. And if there's one question you should ask yourself this week, it's, who's driving your life? Are you in control of your own life? Out with fate and mad things happening, we don't mean that. There's things that we cannot change. There's things that are just coming at us. That's fate. But we do have destiny choices. We do have things that we can make happen in our lives through a sense of will, through hard work, etc. So within that sort of sphere of understanding, who's driving your life? Is it you? Or is it someone else? Because it should be you. And if we look at the Chariot card in here, think of the Formula One racer. He's resilient, he's strong, he's clever, he's bringing all the aspects he needs together as almost like an athlete to bring everything together to drive that car. And the tiniest little movement in a Formula One car actually has a lot of movement associated with it. So you're dealing with tiny movements and always being in control of one step ahead, what's happening next, what's around the corner, who's behind me. And I think Roderick bringing out that aspect of the card is a good one to meditate on this week. Even if you were thinking of driving a rally car, what would you need to do to keep control of that car? How would you need to drive it? What help would you need? All these things. Just let your imagination run, and you'll get some really good answers if you meditate on this card. I absolutely think it's a cracker. Leave it up on the screen or even Google it. It's absolutely beautiful. So what does it mean in the general week ahead? It generally means that the universe is there trying to get you to take control, find control of your own life in all areas, but sometimes you'll feel it more than others. Now, Mercury retrograde's gone now. We're freeing up. We're back to having a wee bit more control and stability round about us, and that's the time to say, right, okay, what direction am I going in? Self-determination, looking at areas of your life that maybe you're not happy with, and bringing your intellect, your resilience, your thoughts, your spirituality, everything you can bring to it to move towards self-determination and driving your own life forward. And as such, it's just a wonderful card. The Chariot's one of my favourite cards. It gives you a sense of being in control of your own destiny. It gives you a sense of feeling that you're not within the control of someone else, or if you are, it gives you the understanding of that and the sort of boot up the backside to make you do something about it. It's a very good card. It's there to move you forward, but in your own way, in your own terms, and maybe even in your own time. So it also can bring car problems, I've noticed. So if you've got an old banger of a car, it might be worthwhile having a think this week as to whether it's served its notice and you maybe need a newer one. It can also mean that you need to put a wee bit more money aside for your car or even just transportation. It's also a card of communication, so it's nice when Mercury is not in retrograde when this comes out, because it does mean that there's good communication potential, a sense of saying something and being heard, putting your point of view forward and seeing someone accept it and carry forward. So make sure that you get the kudos for your ideas. Make sure you communicate them in a way that they can only be pinned down to you. Otherwise, you might find that you communicate things and then those ideas and stuff are taken on by someone else. So make sure that you own your communication, okay? So let's look at more specific areas of life. If we look at work or career, again, it's very much a card that can drive us towards self-employment, to self-determination of where we want to be. It can take people away from jobs that they've been in for a while and aren't supporting them in a good way anymore, and it moves them forward to communicating and moving forward to new ones. It also supports jobs in transportation and communications industry, and it's just one for saying, if you want to change your career, this is one that will help you surge forward. But it's also, think of the Formula One card. Yes, it can go fast, but it's also very, very finely tuned, Have you seen how quickly they can get tyres off and on a car in a race? Is that not crazy? So think of that with this card, that, you might have to move fast in some things, but also everything needs to be fine-tuned maybe before you move fast. So if you're thinking of moving forward to another job, make sure you've fine-tuned your skills, make sure you know where the help is, make sure you know what you're doing, basically. And if you have a team, think of them like the wee men that come on and change those tyres. Do they know their job? Because one man or one person, sorry, I'm not going to be sexist there, but one person not putting a nut in the wheel, and it can come off and ruin your success. So if you have a team, use the Chariot card to make sure that they're with you, that they have the knowledge and skills that they need. Otherwise, the wheels could then come off your business, okay? That's a good one for people who are self-employed but also have people working under them or beside them. So, good card for work. Just take on board what it says and you'll be fine. If we look at health, it actually brings in things like mobility. How's your mobility? Is there anything you can do to fine-tune your mobility? Maybe you don't have much mobility, and I know that aspect, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't maybe still do our neck movements or still do our leg movements or whatever. Even if you've not got great mobility, there's certain areas of the body that you can maybe enhance slightly or even strengthen up other muscles and stuff that are going to help you with your immobility. So it's about thinking about mobility, how it's constrained, and what other things you can do to move yourself forward. It's also a card that I feel allows us to think very deeply and spiritually on things, and that can actually help us with any illnesses that we have this week. But to me, it's more a card that is about mobility and your carriage, which is your body, or your chariot, which is your body. If we look at love, long-term relationships might need fine-tuned. They might have been going along fine but had a wee sort of slow bit, and they need to be quicker again, they need to move forward. Or sometimes they've been like, there's a lot of marriages were last year, and people getting married, houses, moving on, and maybe it's time for relationships like that take a wee breather and slow down a wee bit, because you're kind of in control of it, so you can move forward again at a fast pace if you have to and if you want to. So use this card to look at the pace of your relationship and adjust it accordingly. If you're looking for a relationship, certainly is a good enough card. Just get your will, your intellect, and the sense of what you're wanting and maybe how you're going to achieve it and move it forward. This is a great wee card also to do a wee love spell or intent, and there's one of them on the spells playlist, I think. The Chariot gives you a degree of control, so why not use it? Self-determination in love can be a good thing. And if we look at money, yes, it's about taking control of finances, even if it's just little tweaks, Can I get a better deal on a phone? Can I get a better deal on my electricity or fuel? Am I paying too much for that insurance? Take control of finances, and you might not save oodles, but you'll save a bit, and you'll also still feel very much in control. And as though you've got, fight the corporations kind of thing. Even if you're making £10 a year out of it, do it. It feels good. I know. I was with a phone company for 21 years, and the last 4 years with them have been hell. But every time I've gone to renew my contract, they've persuaded me to stay with them by giving me this deal and that deal. And then within 2 days, the service was as bad as it's ever been, and I always felt such a fool. And as of today, I'm with a new phone company, and it can only be better, put it that way. So fingers crossed. I'm feeling quite relieved. But how bad must a company be if you've been with them 21 years and they're so bad that they lose you? They cannot offer you any deal that will make you stay. And I'm not mentioning any names, but those of you that have followed me on Facebook will know exactly what company I'm talking about. So here's to taking control. And Nellie, you want to come up and say hello? Nellie's at a haircut. Come on, you can do it. There you go. Say hello. Nellie's had a haircut. Oh, my wee love. If you were only on the floor, say hello. Oh, well, Nellie's having sort of anxiety because I've moved my sort of way of recording around. I didn't realise she was crying, and I couldn't understand what was wrong with her, but she was actually behind the screen. So I've now got her bed down on the floor beside me, but I need to obviously make it up to her because, she's been moved out of her comfort zone. Nellie, take the Chariot card. Self-determined here. You don't need to feel so insecure. Anyway, I've got to finish this up. Sorry about that. For those of you that love Nellie, there's a wee add-on to her. And if you don't, then I'm sure you've sort of stopped this video a wee while ago. But that's okay. So, enjoy the week ahead. You've got a brilliant card, the Chariot. If you like the way I read the tarot, my book, Tarot Novice to Pro, is available in all good Amazons and booksellers and stuff. Some people don't have it in their shelves anymore, but they can order it for you. And if you're interested in my life, my Memoirs of a Clairvoyant is on Amazon, all the Amazons, with paperback and Kindle. So that's a wee ad, because I don't know if people know, but YouTube have demonetized just about everything. So to keep the channel going, I certainly need to sell some more books. So anyway, I love you all, and I hope you'll be back for your next weekly tarot card, and I hope it's a good one again. But for now, I'm going to go and have some coffee. So many blessings from a very, very spring-like Scotland, Clyde Valley today. Bye now.